Right now in January, you're either setting yourself up for the biggest harvest of your life or you're already way behind. And here's the crazy part, most gardeners have no idea which one they are. You know what separates a garden that barely produces from one that's overflowing with fresh veggies by summer? It's not luck. It's not even the seeds you buy. It's one critical decision you make this month that determines everything. And I'm not talking about just planting seeds early. There's a specific window of time happening right now where your actions can literally double your harvest. Miss it, and you're stuck with the same disappointing results as last year. But here's the thing. Before I tell you what that decision is, you need to understand why everyone gets this wrong, because the mistake starts way before you even touch a seed. Listen, most people think seed starting is just about getting plants in the ground early. Wrong. January seed starting is about giving your plants a hidden advantage that changes their entire life cycle. Here's what I mean. When you start seeds indoors in January, you're not just getting a head start. You're actually building stronger root systems, thicker stems, and plants that can handle stress way better. It's like training an athlete from childhood versus trying to get them in shape right before the big game. But here's where it gets good. There's a specific number you need to know right now, and most gardeners completely ignore it. Your last frost date. Pull out your phone, search for your area's last frost date, and count backwards 6 to 8 weeks. That's your January seed starting window. Why does this matter so much? Because those extra weeks of controlled indoor growth create plants that produce 40 to 50% more yield. I've tested this in my own garden for 3 years straight. The difference is insane. Now, before you rush to plant every seed you own, there's something critical you need to set up first. Skip this, and your seeds won't even germinate. Stop right there. Before we talk about what to plant, I need to show you something that changes the entire game. Most beginners waste money on seed starting because they miss one simple setup mistake. And it's not what you think. It's not about buying expensive equipment or having a greenhouse. It's way simpler than that, but it makes or breaks everything. I'm about to walk you through the exact setup I use that costs less than $50 and gives me pro-level results. But first, you need to know which investments actually matter and which ones are complete money traps. Because garden stores love selling you stuff you don't need. Stay with me, because what comes next will save you money and guarantee better germination rates. Here's the truth about grow lights. Everyone tells you that you need to drop hundreds of dollars on fancy LED systems. Not true. You can get amazing results with basic LED shop lights from any hardware store. I'm talking $20 to $30 for a 4-foot fixture. The real secret, it's not the light itself, it's the distance. Keep your lights 2 to 3 inches above your seedlings. That's it. That's the trick that prevents those weak, stretchy seedlings from falling over. Now let's talk heat mats. This is where people get confused. Do you need them? Here's the simple answer. If your house stays above 65 degrees, you can skip them for most seeds. But if you're starting peppers or tomatoes, a heat mat will cut your germination time in half. They're about $20 and worth every penny for those heat-loving plants. But here's what nobody mentions. Your seed starting mix matters more than your lights or heat mats. Regular potting soil is too heavy. It holds too much water and your seeds will rot. You need a light, fluffy seed starting mix. Look for something with peat moss or cocoa coir, perlite, and vermiculite. It should feel almost weightless. One more thing about containers. Forget buying expensive seed trays. Save your yogurt cups, egg cartons, and any plastic containers with drainage holes. Free is better. But all this equipment means nothing if you mess up the next part. This is where most January seed starting completely fails. Okay, this is the moment where everything clicks together. I'm about to share the exact germination technique that took me from 50% success to nearly 100% success with every seed I plant. This technique is so simple, you'll wonder why nobody talks about it. But here's why they don't. Most gardening advice comes from people who've never actually tracked their germination rates. They just guess. I've germinated thousands of seeds using this method. The results speak for themselves. Pay close attention because this is the core of successful January seed starting. Temperature is everything. Write this down. 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the magic number for most vegetable seeds. Not room temperature. Not whatever your house happens to be. That specific range. Here's how you hit it every time. If you're using a heat mat, grab a cheap thermometer and stick it in your soil. Check it. Check. Most heat mats run hot and push temps into the 80s. That's too hot for lettuce and broccoli. They'll germinate poorly or not at all. You might need to prop your trays up an inch above the mat. No heat mat! Place your trays on top of your fridge or near a heating vent. The warmth from appliances works great. Now, let's talk about watering. This is where beginners kill their seeds. Too much water, and you get damping off disease. That's when your seedlings suddenly fall over and die. Too little water, and seeds dry out before they sprout. Here's my exact method. Water from the bottom. Fill a tray. Place your containers in it and let them soak up moisture for 10 to 15 minutes. Then remove them. The soil should be moist like a wrung-out sponge, not dripping wet, not dry. Cover your containers with plastic wrap or a humidity dome until you see sprouts. Once they pop up, remove the cover immediately. This keeps moisture consistent during germination but prevents disease once they're growing. The moment you see green, move to the next critical phase. Here's where most people fail. They get seeds to sprout, then watch them turn into weak, leggy disasters. The fix is simple, but you have to act fast. The second your seedlings emerge, they need light. Lots of it. We're talking 14 to 16 hours per day. Set a timer. Don't guess. Without enough light, seedlings stretch toward the light source and get tall and skinny. They'll never recover. Keep those lights close. Remember, 2 to 3 inches above the plants? As they grow, raise the lights. Check daily. Feeding comes next. Wait until you see the second set of true leaves. Those first leaves that pop up, those are cotyledons seed leaves. True leaves look like the actual plant. Once you see them, start feeding with diluted liquid fertilizer. Half strength, once a week. Water when the top inch of soil feels dry. Don't stick to a schedule. Check your plants. Now here's the final piece that most guides skip. Hardening off. This is the move from indoor to outdoor life. Start 2 weeks before your last frost date. Take your seedlings outside for 1 hour in the shade. Add an hour each day. After a week, start giving them morning sun. Skip this step and your plants will shock, wilt, or die when you transplant them. Let me break down exactly what to start in January based on your zone. If you're in zones 3 to 6, start tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant now. In zones 7 to 9, you can add broccoli and cabbage. Zone 10 and up, you're planting warm season crops directly outside already. The 5 best plants to start right now for maximum harvest: tomatoes, peppers, broccoli, lettuce, and herbs like basil. These give you the biggest return on your January effort. Start today. Your future harvest depends on the action you take this week. Drop a comment and tell me what you're planting first.